performance. Thanks you, Artie Shaw. By the way, Artie, Mr. Durante here is looking for entertainers for a party he's giving.
Oh, really?
Yes, my boy, and I listened to your rendition very carefully. You know where my house is?
Why, yes.
Well, stay away.
Mr. Durante, you can't mean that.
I got nothing against Mr. Shaw personally. It's just that the clarinet is a low-class instrument played by hoodlums. I ought to know. I played one myself.
But look, Jimmy, the clarinet's been used in symphonies for years.
Oh, well, I know. I'll never forget that night in Carnegie Hall. We were in the middle of Topashevsky's Pathetic. And I steps down to the podium for my clarinet solo. The spotlight is on me. The audience is tense.
Yes?
Not realizing I had forgotten my instrument. For 2.5 choruses, I was fingering my nose.
It must have been a long solo.
I didn't think that was a joke, or you wouldn't have had that, Miss Davis.
You can't say that line.
However, that is neither flotsam nor jetsam. I'll give you an idea what kind of entertainment I want at the party. Something classical, like this. Major, 8 to the Oakley. Are you ready? Hit it. Now, seeking my favorite diversion last night and feeling in the pink, I stepped into my plush upholstered Hanson. With my 2 footmen commanding the poop deck and my Arabian steeds going at a gentle trot, we approaches the theater marquee. And what happens? The red carpet is rolled out. My 2 footmen descend from the poop deck. They open the door and I steps out. Looking up from the gutter, I said, "Who told you to remove the running board?" Picking myself up and ignoring the stares of the hoi pollou, I makes myself gallantly into the diamond horseshoe, removing my top hat, my nylon gloves, my skunk muffler, and my patent leather goulashes with the neon buttons. I looks around. Mrs. Van Scaler is whispering to Mrs. Murray Hill. Mrs. Murray Hill is whistling to Mrs. Susquehanna. And what are they saying? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? No, it's a bum. You see, a vicious rumor has been circulated just because I work in a saloon. They say I'm not fit to mingle in any other circle. That's ridiculous. Nightclubs are just the Mr. Hyde part of me. You have yet to meet the Dr. Jekyll. I'm Durante, the patron of the arts, an opera critic and a man of parts. You know, last night I went to the opera. I loved it. All but one scene. That's where the 350-pound soprano sings to the baritone. She sings, "Take me in your arms and hold me close." Why, to hold her close, the bum would have to be curved like a banana. Those opera lovers all rave at Handel's Largo. Why, I've heard better music written by Umbriago. Now, what I say may sound absurd, but believe me, it's true. I've seen every opera, and I'll name them for you. Tales of the Vienna Rolls, Madame Buttermilk, the Sextet from Lychee Nuts, and the Quartet from Rigor Mortis. I could go on for days. I coach sopranos and tenors in their parts, 'cause I'm Durante, the patron of the arts. Now, just the other day, they held a meeting at the Metropolitan in the cellar. They says, "Jimmy, we're in a hole. You gotta help us out." Stepping up on a soapbox, left over from La Boheme, I said, "Gentlemen, let's analyze this. Now take Romeo and Juliet. Romeo has to leave Juliet. But does he say, 'Shoo-shoo, baby'? No. In opera, he says, 'I have but a moment to spend with you, a moment, my dear, to spend with you, a moment to spend, a moment to spend, a moment, 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 a moment.' He's got 1 moment to spend, he's taken 3 hours to tell her about it. And the bum is making a federal case out of it. Then she says, 'I will give you a kiss, my love, a burning kiss upon the lips. A burning kiss, a kiss, a kiss, a kiss upon the lips, a burning kiss, a kiss upon the lips, upon the kiss upon the time he's ready to kiss her, the fire's out. And I said to the committee, there's only one way to save the opera. Get yourself new lyrics that have class and renown. Like Pistol Packin' Mama, lay that pistol down. They all gave thanks from the bottom of their hearts to Durante, the patron of the arts, a connoisseur. Durante, the patron of the arts.
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy Durante.
You see now what I want for my party? Something classical.
Yes, I'm sorry I didn't realize that before, Mr. Durante. My apologies.
Tell who?
Naturally. But I think I have just the man for you. He meets your requirements to a T.
What does he do?
He plays the piano. And perhaps you should talk to him yourself. Jose Iturbi. Jose Iturbi, I'd like you to meet Jimmy Durante.
Jimmy Durante.
How are you, hoes?
How you nose?
He's speaking pure Castile. So this kid is a piano player, huh, Miss Davis? Who did he play with?
Well, he's played with the Moscow Symphony, the Paris Conservatory, the New York Philharmonic with Leopold Stokowski, the Thomas Beecham and Kusevitsky.
Can't hold a job very long, huh?
Are you looking for a pianist, Mr. Durante?
Yeah, but I don't think you'll do, kiddo. I gotta have a guy who can read music.
But I do read music.
Don't you understand? I want a classicist. If I hired you, would I be true to the great masters? Would Mendelssohn like it? Would Mendel's daughter like it? Would Mendel himself like it?
Jimmy, for your information, Mr. Iturbi happens to be a musician of some renown.
Well, I'll tell you, Joey's. If you're as good as Miss Davis says, maybe I can use you at that.
Mm-hmm. Will I receive any recompense for my services?
No, just money. How much do you get for a night?
Well, about $3,000.
I see you work over scale. Get a load of them musicians laughing. $3,000, huh? I wasn't prepared to pay quite that much.
How much did you have in mind?
Well, about 3.5.
Well, I will have to think it over. But meanwhile, if I don't get in touch with you, by all means, don't get in touch with me.
Let's not be too hasty, Jose. Besides $1.50, you can pick up a few bucks more in tips.
You mean they tip the piano player?
No, Jose. But you're going to be a waiter, too. But wait a minute. I'm not making any rash promises until I see what you can do.
Well, I think you'll be fairly safe without auditioning, Mr. Iturbi.
I can't take a chance. Miss Davis, I got the music here for a piano duet.
A duet?
Yeah, that's when two people play. They call it a duet. You got your part? You know them little black things that you see there are notes.
This one is moving.
That one is moving, huh?
Yes.
That's something else again. Brush it off. Now, Jose, you just wait a minute and I'll take the beginning. Wait a minute. I play the preliminaries. You know, you can easily be replaced. I wouldn't do that if I was you, stranger. Might lead to a feud. We'll start again, Mr. I. Josie. Now, just what did you accomplish by that?
I was merely trying to please.
Everybody wants to get into the act.
Well, Jimmy, possibly Mr. Iturbi felt a little uncomfortable playing a duet with such a great artist. Maybe he'd rather play a solo.
Solo?
Yes, that's when one person plays. They call it a solo.
Okay, let the big show-off play. All I can say is I face these next few minutes with foreboding. I'm going to go looking for foreboding. I'll be back in a minute.